And so everybody that's listening to us on YouTube, please subscribe, like, and share. If you're listening to us on one of the podcasting sites, also, same thing. Subscribe, share this interview. And if you're listening to us on the radio on one of the 20 stations that hopefully will play this interview, they've been playing a lot of our interviews. We appreciate you for listening, and definitely keep telling the people at the radio station that you're listening to us on to keep that you love our interviews, I should say. So we keep getting these on the air. Maliko Sensei, he's a really impressive man. Great book coming out. We're going to talk about that, mindfulness, Tai Chi, many, many different things. And I'm honored to have you on the program and honored to have met you several months back. We're finally getting this up and going. Maliko Sensei, thanks so much for your time tonight.
Hey, and you, I mean, I really appreciate it. I feel like I'm on a mission,
Yeah.
Rob, and to uplift and inspire humanity. I think that with all the things that are going on in the world, let alone politics and then viruses and this and that, it's so important that everyone, people who have can hear this, to work on themselves. And it's not just about going to the gym, it's about going to the gym within. Because in here, we have a mind, we have a heart, we have a body. But question is, are they working together?
You know, and you're spreading this great message through a lot of people that struggled putting their critical thinking caps on, I should say, the past 3 years, and some people even more. They were driven into bad places due to fear and anxiety throughout the past 3 years, especially. We're going to tap on this right now, but let's just start off this interview. And Maliko, tell the viewers a little bit of how you got into this mindset, but specifically tell them a little bit more about yourself than I did earlier.
Well, you're looking at a guy who's 67 years old, 2.5 years from being 70. I don't feel like it. I don't act like it. Some people, I said, well, when I grow up, they say, well, don't worry about it. You're never going to grow up. Now, I say that in kidding in a way, because, I'm very, at this point in my life, I was walking a tightrope. And then my teacher in 1990, George Leonard, said, hey, make that tightrope a plank. Loosen up a little bit. Because whatever goes on in the mind will show up in the body. But yeah, no, my path started. I grew up in the city. I was fighting a lot. I started martial arts. I had a great teacher who really cared for me, and he kind of gave me that tough love. And but over the years, I transformed my art from like a martial art into an art of self-expression, and it's a spiritual path in a way, knowing how dynamic every one of us, our body is. We are a miracle. We are a miracle, and there's no anyone. I go like that, and I say, "Isn't that a miracle?" And someone says, "No, you said that, and it's supposed to happen." Mama mia, do you know that I just transported like 1,000 different communication circuits for that to happen in a moment? That's a miracle. So Einstein said you can look at life in two ways, like nothing's a miracle, or that everything is a miracle. And depending on what your outlook is or perception, your life is enriched.
I want to talk about this because you just spoke about martial arts, and we'll start on that and go into the Tai Chi aspect of that. Why do you feel like it's important, and maybe even important for you as a child, to grow up and study martial arts? There's a lot of discipline to that, which helps you as a man, as a young man, but also helps you as an older man to stay disciplined and stay on the track when you formulate that mindset that you believe that this track is the right track to live by. This track is the right track to complete life in.
Yeah, no, for me. See, that's the thing. It's right. Like, I just learned not to tell anyone anything. I can advise, I can suggest this is what worked for me. And if it worked for me, this kid out of Jersey City, who traveled the country and the world, who's taught for the last 50 years, who's still training and teaching, It's just to stay so that we could stay balanced and focused and grounded and centered and loving and kind and compassionate. Those things are little by little, it seems like our humanity is fading away, and it makes me
Yeah.
really sad.
You know, when you speak about Tai Chi, a lot of people have heard the word, but they don't understand that they maybe haven't really went in depth of what that is. You tell the audience a little bit about that, Maliko, and your journey in learning Tai Chi?
I will, but mostly I want to let you know that
Sure.
my main discipline is Okinawan karate.
Okay.
53 years I'm training now.
Wow.
I
Okay.
know. It's training, teaching all over the country. And the Tai Chi, I found that, at least for me, and what I've seen in my students, is that some people come in and they have a lot of pent up anger. They have a lot of pent up frustration that they never gave voice to. And they come into the karate and they go each knee, and they're going through it and they get all that out. When they leave, their eyes are clear. When they come in, the eyes are dull. They go out, the eyes are clear. And so, and with the Tai Chi, I find that some people, gravitate more to the slower, mindful movement, where you are aware of your feet while you're moving your hands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're being
Right.
more aware of this. Like each and every one of us is a universe. O Sensei, the founder of Aikido, he says each and every one of us is a universe, and where it is in the lower belly. This is the middle belly. This is the upper, not belly, but the mind, the heart, and the body. And someone told me a long time ago, one of my teachers 30, 40 years ago, is that when you actually blend those three, something else happens. You open up into another reality, and it's powerful. And then you can stand as a man, you can stand as an individual in their autonomy. And that's what we're losing. It's slipping away our own autonomy. And it could drive us crazy if we don't, if we take it too serious.
So I want to get into the aspect of Okinawan Kanadi. Is that how you
Without,
say it? Right. So I know that's your specific study. We just kind of spoke a little bit about Tai Chi. Can you speak about that since you're specific? Excuse me. So because you're specifically have been studying that for 53 years, I think you have the knowledge and the criteria that you know how to explain it to the people that are listening to our program today.
Okay, basically, the name of the style of karate from Okinawa that I had studied started in 1970 is Ishin-ryu. First of all, karate means empty hand. So in the one form, Ishin-ryu means one's heart, one's mind's way. And you do that through the training. You just become more efficient, like between the connection of your mind and your body, and you're working on those fine-tuning motor skills that make you more of an integrated individual. The other form that I've taught and teach and studied is Goju-ryu. So Ishin-ryu means the mind's heart way. Goju-ryu means the firm but gentle way. Firm in your discipline and practice, and gentle in your disposition. Like we do our forms, we put the left hand out. I offer you peace. I offer you peace first. If you don't take that, this is coming. I mean, that's more of like a basic way of saying it. But for me, it's a spiritual path. I teach all the time. And as my students of 10, 20, 30 years now are getting it, we can go into deeper levels of of understanding about letting go. You got to be a strong person to let go.
Yeah, but Maliko, there's a lot of people that have a lot of mental health issues in the country, not to mention around the world. When you talk about you start off with peace And if not, they're going to get the fist. How did you develop that discipline? I know you've been studying this for 53 years. That's probably the easiest way to say it is, yes, and I've been studying this for 53 years. But that has to take a lot of discipline when people are psychotic around the world right now, and not to mention around the country.
I think to get back into, yeah, maybe I'm not supposed to say it, but the holistic viewpoint of it is that, and I have people that I'm working with right now, and they have all kinds of different issues mentally, but there's something about when they experience their body doing something right that boosts their that boosts their attitude, that boosts the way that they feel about their confidence, their esteem. And then we gradually build on that. But the main thing is that we have a heart, mind, and body, as I say all the time. And my main question to everybody is, are they on the same page? Are they friends with each other? I know a lot of people have positions in work and are doing different things. They really don't want to do it. They're doing it, so their heart's not in it. So as soon as they get out of bed and go out the door, the engine, the vehicle is not going to run smooth.
Right.
I'm trying to break it down into areas of understanding. You know, as human beings, we all have a heart, we all have a mind, we have a heart, and we have a body. Right? No matter what religion, no matter where in the country, what language. But now I'm just trying to say that, look, things are going wild, crazy.
Right.
And the main thing is you got to stay balanced. You're in the ocean, you know, and you got to stay afloat, and it's going to get more dicey.
So when we talk, and again, for people listening, Maliko Sensi here on Fire Breathing Rob, he's got a book coming out. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. I do want to finish some more questions that we have for him, and then we're going to talk about the book, where people can find more about him, the website, all that stuff as far as that goes. But let's continue on with the program here, Maliko. You know,
Yes.
you have this quote that says, "When the well is dry, you'll have nothing to give." Talk about that. I feel like for some people that may be a little self-explanatory, but maybe some people still don't understand that. So tell us about that.
No, excellent. And I understand what you're saying. No, mainly is that it goes back to being whole. If I take care of myself, you know, just like in the morning, I'm going to take a shower, brush my teeth, you know, clean up. If I take care of myself, then I can go and take care of someone else. Now, if I'm not doing all that for myself, I'm not eating right, I'm not sleeping right, and I keep giving like caregivers, you know, always giving, then they run. That's why there's so many people in burnout right now, overwhelmed, burnout. This is a way, hey, take a break from all that. Let's come home to yourself, and I'll show you how.
So talk about how you'll show people. It's a nice, easy question. You just teed it off for me, so we'll go right into it.
I love your smile, by the way. You got one of those trickster smiles.
Oh, geez.
Nah, it's all good.
But let's go into this because I want to complete. So you know, we talk about a lot of people in the audience, and you just brought it up in the last answer you gave. You know, there's a lot of people right now that are hurting. They really do need to regenerate themselves in general because there's the depression, the anxiety, their whole self-worth is depleted. Tell the audience how they can bring it back to themselves and really regenerate themselves so, you know, they'll not only feel good about themselves, but they'll continue to grow as a person and as a human being.
Oh man, I love those kind of questions. You know, everyone asks, "Oh, and what did you drive in today?" Or what? You know, give me go. Let's go deep. No, well, the thing is that we cannot rejuvenate if we don't empty the cup. And this is something that I see as it could be an epidemic, is that people just feel like if they have a positive mind, that they could keep doing more and more, and they'll have the strength. But if you really, really, really want to go down, you have to go down to ground zero, which means what I've done over, and I've done this many, many times when I get over, when I'm just burnt out and I know it's like, oh God, I can't do anything more, you know? But so I'll lay on the earth, you know, on the back or stomach, it doesn't matter. I do it right on the floor in my living room. And I just take time and empty out. I empty, you know, I inhale and then I check my mind field. What's bothering me? What is eating up my chi, my energy, mental? And then I bring them out. I breathe into that, right? I mean, you're using the imagination now. I breathe into that. And then when I exhale, I'm imagining letting it go. Same thing emotionally. I might have things that I just don't, you know, he said that, she said that, he shouldn't have did that. And, you know, and what's the politics, you know, and you're all like wound up. Breathe into it. The breath is the most powerful thing we have. If we didn't breathe, we wouldn't live. We could go days without food, without water, but not without breath. That's how important it is. And the reason why, in my opinion, the reason why people do not what do I want to say, see it, it's because, well, they can't see it. So they don't give it credence. You know what I mean? So the idea is, and then physically, you know, I got a bum back, you know, I got the back of my knee, oh, my ankle. Well, let me focus on that because I have dynamic energy in my body.
Yeah.
And then I can send the good parts of my body over there to help that rejuvenating process. So in a nutshell, I'm saying empty your cup and then fill your cup. And that's the rejuvenation. And then reflect on your life and see if you're really doing what you're here to do. And people say, well, I don't know. I mean, I worked with so many people in the 80s, 90s, 100. And even at the end of their eight decades or 9 decades, they say, I never knew what my purpose was.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of,
Bad.
and you know why? Because we didn't check. We
Yeah.
didn't check. So it's whatever we love, that's what we're here to do. And then we got to find a way to make a living doing it.
Maliko Sensei here on Fire Breathing Rob. He's got a book out. We're going to be talking about that in just a moment. So please stay tuned. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a moment. All right, we are back here again for people listening. Maliko Sensei here on Fire Breathing Rob, talking pretty much all things as far as mindfulness. We've been talking about all kinds of things like that. We're going to dig deeper into this with the last, actually, well, I got some audience questions. Let's save that for just a moment. Let's dig deeper, Maliko, into the book. You just finished writing the book. It's on Amazon. Tell the people a little bit about the book and why you wrote it.
Oh, this started a long time ago. Like I consider myself, now I had no formal education. I bared out at 10th grade, went into the Navy, wanted to see the world, all that stuff. And I'll tell you what, if it wasn't for my martial art training, I probably wouldn't have had the confidence, you know, and self-esteem to get out there, you know, at a young age. I look at these kids 17, I can't even imagine them in the Navy or, you know.
That's true.
But in terms of the book, when I would see, I had two dojos running in northern New Jersey, and one for 18 years and the other one simultaneously for 12 years. Every time when the students, a lot of them, even the kids, when they would come in, they'd be unfocused, or the adults, when they came in, they had that dullness in their eyes. And every time when they left, their eyes were like bang, they were wide open. They were like full of juice. The chi was flowing. And then I went into saying, how can I use this? You know, I believe my life is a gift. I believe I went through all the challenging things I did to be who I am now. So I tell people I'm a late bloomer coming out now. However, the book itself mastering the gym within is probably something people don't think about too much. It's not something that's advocated in the gym or even in church or even in the colleges. It's something that it's our birthright. It seems to be common sense. Check in with your mind before you go out the door. Check in with the heart field before you go out. Check in with your body field, and then tune it up or do what you have to do and then go out the door. Now, when you show up, you are really there with people. So anyway, getting back to the book, I'm sharing with people my analogy of the journey of cups. The journey of cups is that each and every one of us is a cup. And my understanding is that whatever goes on in my mind, if someone hurts me and I'm thinking this or that about, it's going to show up in my body somehow. If someone hurt my feelings, it's going to affect the way I think. It's going to, you know what I mean? Because we're all working together. That's mainly what the book, it's short. It's a small book. It's a good read and it's focused. I mean, I've been working on it, believe it or not, 18 years. And all my editors, they chop, chop, chop.
We've talked a lot about, everything in the kitchen sink, from breathing to martial arts to the book. What do you hope people leave this interview with?
A new way of thinking.
Okay.
It's like a lot of classes that I teach and all kind, really hard, yang, yin, soft. People say, oh, we do this in yoga. Oh, we do this in Tai Chi. Oh, we do this in dance class. I'm like, there's only 26 letters in the alphabet. But how do you put them together? And that's what makes the story. And that's why this is unique, because very few people have the background of coming from the street and developing myself and still alive, because most of the people I grew up with are they're dead.
I mean, it's important for people. We hope people read the book and buy the book. Again, for people listening, we do hope you do that. For people listening, it's Mastering the Gym Within, Maliko Sensei here on Fire Breathing Rob. He's talked about a lot of great things today. Again, Maliko, where can people follow you, the website, find more about you in general? Give the audience, before we end our conversation today, that information so they can get in touch with you and just follow your every move. Well, we hope not, but.
Well, no. Hey, I'm a ninja. No, I'm just wanting to connect with people. It's not like I'm trying to sell anything to anybody. I'm just offering. And I'm at the point now, it's like I used to say, I'm surprised I'm still going. And so, no, TRI-Hara, TRIHARA.com. That's how it is. That's just all in one. And then you could get to my Facebook and all that other stuff. And by the way, the book will be out at the end of June. So I'm working with the publishing company right now for that. So it's not out right now, just so the viewers know, or the listeners.
I'm sure you can go on Amazon and pre-order it, or go on Amazon and find it at that time of June. We do hope people, in general, when they hear your name, Google it. If you can't remember anything, Maliko Sensei, just find it. You'll find more about him in general, Matt. Maliko, I hope to have you on again. It's been a magical ride so far. We hope to have more rides with you.
You got that Boston accent.
Right. Well, we got to keep it rolling. We got to keep it rolling. But we do hope that you come back on the program again, because it's really educational. And we didn't even dive even deep enough into the surface here about, I do want you to come on again. I think that's a separate conversation to speak about men in general and their issues with self-development in general. We need somebody that, like, as I told you before the show, that's a man to come on to speak about that. So we'll definitely, as we end this interview, we will develop the next interview for Maliko Sensei to come on and speak of development for men. So we'll do that in just a moment. But Maliko, thanks again for coming on. I hope people do get that book when it comes out. And I hope that they learned a lot from our conversation. Again, mastering the gym within. Maliko Sensei, thanks so much.
Namaste. I appreciate you, Rob.
Maliko Sensei back here on Fire Breathing Rob. Definitely get the book. All right, is The Gym Within. Check it out. It will be coming out very, very soon at the end of June, I believe. Go to Amazon. I'm going to give you again a website at the end of our talk here of where you can find more about Maliko and also more about the book in general. Maliko, we're going to get into this. You know, we see a lot of people as far as men, they're being thrown down. There's all this negativity surrounded men as far as it seems like the women stick up for each other, but the men don't stick up for each other. You know, we as men, we need to support each other and grow as human beings and really take the bull by the horns. Can you talk more about that to our listeners? Because I think it's really important, especially for the young listeners listening.
Exactly. And what I'm hoping for the older listeners that are listening, that they could be mentors for the younger ones. And that's what we need. And I think one thing I would say just off the cuff is that if the older people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever, can pick one or two of the younger men and be their sponsors or mentors.
Right.
And just say, look, I know, you know, because let's face it, a normal, what they would say, a normal family life, you know, you got the mother and father and everything's working, but that's not the norm. The norm is that a lot of us, you know, have grown up without both parents, without the love of both parents. And I think that we need, in all the men's work that I did, it's the men, hundreds of them, that would come to a gathering that they wanted to grow. Mm-hmm. You know, they wanted to learn how. I mean, you know, we're getting bombarded and there's so much pressure on being a man. And now the woman's coming over and saying, hey, you're not being the man, so I'm going to be the man. I'll go to work, you know?
Right.
And you know, I make fun of things like that, but it's really not funny, you know? And what I am on a mission for is to ignite the human spirit within each person, and especially the male at this point, because I am a bro. I think last time I checked. No,
hey, you never know nowadays, but it is what it is. But par for the course.
You're funny.
Well, you gotta tell it straight. But go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that you got to have some guts.
Yes.
You got to have some balls, you know. You got to be bold in a way, you know. If there's so much what do I want to call it? There is so much not modeling, but trying to project what we are to keep ourselves safely in the world as we're going. But everyone's forgetting that we're on a ball spinning through space and time, right? For billions of years, we showed up for this borrowed amount of time. What do you want to do with it? See, that's where I'm talking. I want to get to the heart of my brothers out there. You know, I want to get to the heart. Because if you don't have the heart and you don't have the why, you know, you just like everything is, you know, up in the air, right?
Do you think this slowly started with the feminism uptick in the 70s? And now we're into all this political correctness now. And every man is a sexist, a misogynist. And it's just out of control now as far as that goes.
No, I think it comes back to, Rob, it comes back to common sense. Mm-hmm. And common sense is not so common anymore, unfortunately. And the thing is that everybody has to think for themselves. We want to go to Google. Yay, tell me what that is. I want to go over here. But we have the answers within. And I don't know about you, but where I come from and most people I know never got told in the beginning that the answers that they're always going to be looking for is inside themselves.
Yeah.
To me, that's what the man is. The man is saying, look, I see what's going on. I see it out there, but I'm not going to buy into it. I'm going to do my own practices. I'll go to the boxing gym. I'll go to, the yoga. I'll go to karate. I'll go to Tai Chi. I'll do things that help me to understand more about the energy that I am. And it's much more than just a physical movement. It's much more than that. It's a way of life.
But we are feminizing men in this culture, though. I would say that. I don't know if you agree with that. That's fine if you don't. I think that's a huge problem because we are building weaker men instead of stronger men. There's a lot of people in our society saying that men and women are equal. Men and women are different. There's good qualities in women, there's good qualities in men. They're both different as far as human beings go. And you can't say that they're equal because that's not biologically or physically or mentally correct.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
no more to be said, because the thing is that we have a lot in the culture itself, we have a lot of judgment going on. We criticize, day after day, whether it's a politician or an actor or a teacher or a student, and that just brings people down.
Yeah.
We're here to build each other up and keep each other up, not keep each other down. And I got a great story about that another time. When I was traveling I was down in Guatemala and then coming back in Belize. Man, it's interesting that if you pay attention, it goes back to that being mindful, and it goes back to that common sense. Really look and see for yourself if what you're seeing and what you believe is really true.
Yeah.
They say question authority, right? Question the medical, the pharmaceutical, but also question your own belief systems, because who you were a year ago or 2 years, 5 years ago may not be who you are now. We've grown, hopefully. So that's it. It's like we all have to get a grip, and that's what my whole life has been about this. All I did was share and teach. And I know that every time when I do my I love your smile. No, when I do my I always feel that groundedness.
Yeah.
Nothing can touch it. Like when you're in there and your chi is strong, chi is your life force. And what I learned in Hawaii is that we're on an earth, we're on a ball spinning. We're on a ball, and that ball is alive. They call that the Aina. And we're also in a universe. Look up at all the stars. We're only one little galaxy out of 10,000. So how small are we as human beings? So my whole thing is and especially for men, is that start to breathe, follow your breath. When you have deep, things that are, really annoying you or you're concerned about, breathe deep, ask your inner self. Ask your inner self, what is it? What could I do now? And we might be way down here, right? It's like we're almost drowning. We might get up to here, right? A little bit more up onto the surface and a little bit more. But as you do this, you get more clarity and you get more trust and you get more belief in yourself. And as men, that's what we need, look around. And when I look around, I see so much dependency happening. codependency. And we're all guilty of it. It's like, oh, I could really help them. If I feel like I'm helping them, then that will boost my self-esteem. But how about if your well is not full, and you got some nice water in there that you want to share with your friends and your community, but if you're drained yourself and you're just trying to do what you're doing, no, it's not enough. I'm asking people, or in my mind, like I said, I'm just wanting to inspire, motivate, uplift people to believe in themselves. I came up pretty hard. I had some pretty, all this ugly stuff happening, right? However, I made it through. Why did I make it through? One, I had mentors who believed in me. Two, I kept, I'm a seeker. Even now, I still walk around with an empty cup. So when I come to you, I say, okay, Rob, what can you teach me today? Even though I have umpteen, umpteen master doctorate degree, actually. When you work with so many people as I did over the years, I've worked with thousands, if not more. Well, not only in my dojo, moved from New Jersey to Mount Shasta, California. I taught there in the community center, then up to Seattle, teaching them. And I love to work with the kids. I love to work with the boys and the men because they become stronger in the community. They're doing this, they're doing that. And there's something to be said about not only the integration of mind and body, but utilizing your yin and yang qualities. That's what I want to say with you. When you were saying about the male and the female, I think it's mostly about honoring our differences, because without the male, nobody be born. Without the female, there'd be no chickens born. You know what I mean? You, me. So it is a collaboration. That was the big part of my studies back when, is how do we balance the yin and yang and all. So when you talk about the men being more feminist, I think of it as, for myself, being more receptive. I'm not so bulldog like I was earlier.
But you don't have to be bulldog. I'm trying to say that they are pushing a lot of the politicians, a lot of the powers that be are trying to push men. You can be sensitive and have those traits in a good way, as you just stated, but they're trying to push it in a negative light where, they want, for my personal belief, they want less people to have kids. They want less people to get married. They want less families together. That's just my perspective. I know people on here maybe have different perspectives, but it seems, especially in the past 3 years, we've seen a lot of weird stuff as far as men and women, come about. I don't know if you agree with that. If you have a statement, we can totally move on if you want.
Yeah. All right, Rob. I just see it's another entrance point to a rabbit hole. And by that, I mean, is that once you get into that, how many times did you think that you knew something, gut feeling, because you saw it right there and you shared that, and 3 weeks later, you don't see it that way anymore?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Is that we're so opinionated, yet we're not grounded. We're coming out of the head, and what's going to be this and what's going to be that and what's going to be the best. We're always looking at how to get the best for more.
Yeah, we'll move forward with that with a couple more
Okay.
questions left. A lot of these young guys, they, like you said, they don't have the father figures. They don't have, the coach or the teacher that's really helping them out. And
The
those people
mentor,
are
yeah.
very important in life as far as, kids growing up. Obviously, we want them to find that mentor. But what do you think is the most important trait as a person yourself that has mentored many young people and even older people in general? What is that trait that you would try to push if they if they want to accept it, of course, because you don't want to force it down their throat. I know you push that. But if they want to accept that trait, what is that trait that you try to push towards your mentees?
Right. Well, number one, honor your breath.
Mm.
Come home to yourself. We got all these things we could be working on over here and over here. And we're always working it. You know, you are, I am. But at the same time, did we forget our center? Are we just are we coming from a place of being authentic, or are we just making it up so we could get along? And that's important. It's really important. So if I had one thing to say, which is the bottom line, be thankful for your breath. Be thankful. There's a Persian poet named Rumi, and in the 12th century, and he said, your body is a guest house, a new arrival every day. Welcome them all, even if they come to steal everything out of your house, because they might be clearing space for you for what wants to come new. It goes back to earlier today, or in another interview we had about rejuvenation. You got to empty the cup before you fill it up. You want a fresh cup of coffee? Make it clean today. It just,
When we talk about emptying the cup, Maliko, we're talking about emptying all that negative energy, whether it's people, whether it's mind issues that you're having, thoughts. Is that what you're speaking about with that cup and emptying it?
I am.
Okay.
I'm saying that, the ego, we could call it the ego. One time I said, I got to get rid of the ego. But I realized my self-esteem was pretty low. And then someone said, you can't get rid of your ego if you don't have one.
Oh,
hey, I love these things that come out of the mouth of babes,
right.
And I really think that the younger population, especially the young, they're looking for, how can we find purpose, real purpose for our life? And I want to say, just go into your heart, see what you love, and make a living doing what you love and helping others. The greatest satisfaction, I can contest to this, the greatest satisfaction now we could ever have is when we're helping someone else.
Yeah, 100% correct.
100.
Again, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and that's what you're doing. You're bringing all these different aspects to your viewers, to your listeners, and you're just trying to say, hey, I hope this helps. You're the what do you call it? The interperson, networker, in a way, right?
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. And, again, for people listening, Maliko Sensei, definitely check out the website, TRI-Hara.com. Again,
HARA.com, TRI-Hara.
right.
And that is boom, boom, boom. When the all three come together, boom, you got the sun.
Right. Mastering the Gym Within, Maliko Sensei here on the program. We're definitely going to have you on again, Maliko, because you always have a lot to bring to the table. And actually, especially in a time of struggle for men, depression, anxiety, the list goes on and on, working environments, etc. Mastering the Gym Within. We need to get people to read this book. And it's not because we want Maliko to make 150 million bucks. We want people to read this book because we need these men to grow up, be successful leaders, and also learn about what's inside them, not just what's outside them. It's TRIHARA.com. Maliko Sensei, thanks so much for being on the program. Greatly appreciate your time today.
You're awesome, and I appreciate you. Thank you.